Decision making. Know the why, not the how. What an interesting statement. I visited Canada recently on a holiday with my wife, and I've always wanted to go there. And I've always, I don't know about you, you've seen those old movies where they have those log jams in the rivers, and I've always wanted to see something like that. And I remember coming to it and seeing all these logs backed up at the head of a river. And I thought to myself, that's a little bit like business. And, weird thought to have when you're on a holiday. But when I thought about it, there are so many things that just come piling down in a river. The various options, the various issues and problems, and they create this log jam. Everything's still flowing underneath. The water is still flowing, but there's a jam. And trying to unstick that is the why of decision making, not the how. Because when the lumberjack looks at that log jam, he can go in, they can take one log away at a time, but they always look for the strategic log that's causing the issue. And they grab that log. And just by moving one log, it frees everything else up. And we can do that with our business. But we need to be able to step back from our business and understand the why. Why is this happening? Why is everything choking up? And how do I deal with it? And if we can get up high enough, we can look down on our business and say, that's where the issue is. And we can start to address it. So it's a really interesting situation for us. The challenge is that we need to be able to we need to be able to challenge our most cherished beliefs. We all come into business, we all think to ourselves, I can do this, I know. And we've got to be able to stop ourselves and say, hang on a second, why am I making these decisions? Why am I looking at this opportunity? What is it about this that is causing the logjam? Because more often than not, the logjam is a result of decisions that we've made. We've made the decision out of the how, not out of the why. So we push ourselves through that. Growth, let me just jump on a little bit. So your business will thrive and survive or fail based on decisions that we make. It's just a really, really interesting thing. I put the image of a ship there. I have a background in the Navy and I particularly love ships, but I've put the ship on because the fascinating thing about a ship is that the wind will push a ship, the engines will push a ship, but how do you turn a ship? There's a tiny little rudder, a tiny little decision maker. You move it a couple of degrees and you change the direction of the ship. The same concept appears in our business. We make a tiny little correction and our whole business can go in a different direction. If ever you get a chance to visit Canberra, there's a wonderful display out the front of what's called Questacon, which is a science and technology museum. It's a big granite ball. It must be 4 feet across. And it's sitting in a bowl on a very thin layer of water. And kids go up to it and they can push on it and get it to spin. And it's a beautiful example of momentum. It's a beautiful example of a ship. Because as you build momentum in your business, as you build momentum in a ship or in anything, you start going forward. If you need to change direction, it's not about stop it, move to a different position and start it again. If we did that in our business every day, we'd go broke. It's about apply a little bit of pressure and change the direction. It's about the little rudder on the bottom of the ship. A little bit of pressure and you've turned the direction of the spin, turned the direction of the momentum. So momentum in your business is a massive friend for where you're going and what you're trying to achieve. There's an interesting story about Cortez, one of the original conquistadors. who sailed to the new lands, the new world. When he arrived, I think he had 600-700 men with him. When he arrived, they all got on shore and he burnt his ships. And he burnt his ships so that they were there to stay. Do we think about that principle in our own business? Do we want to go back to where we first started from in our business? Or do we want to keep moving forward? Where are we going with our business? I'd like to think we keep moving forward. No going back, stop looking in the rear vision mirror, all of those things that we've already talked about. So it's about where are we heading? What are we doing? It's very interesting. Small thinkers in business ask, do I have the resources? Big thinkers say, I desire that outcome. How am I going to get it? Let me give you an example. With my wood turning business, I had an opportunity several years ago when it was just starting out. I really wanted a good drum sander. Now, for those of you who don't know wood turning and stuff, you won't know, a drum sander is basically a piece of sandpaper wrapped around a 1 metre drum, and it turns at high speed and you just feed your timber under it and it sands it. But I wanted one of those so I could do slabs of timber. The opportunity came up where I could get one of those, and normally they're sort of $4,500. I could get one of those as a second-hand thing, but if I got it, I also had to pick up a dust extractor, a table saw, and a thicknesser, all for the same price, $3,000. And I thought, do I have the money to cover it? That was my initial thought. I thought, hang on a second, stop. Do I desire this as an outcome? And it changed the way I thought about it, because what it meant was that I found the $3,000 to cover it on my credit card. I then went on and sold the bits I didn't want for a price that covered the cost of buying the entire thing in the original. So, do I really desire the outcome? I'll find a way, as opposed to, I don't have the resources right now. Let the opportunity go. And it's just a different way of thinking, isn't it? It's just thinking into your business. So it's not what is on your mind that should concern you. It's what's in what you're not aware of. So I'm going to try and rephrase that so it makes a bit more sense. There's a whole lot of stuff I don't know about business. And there's a whole lot of stuff I do know. But I need to understand the I don't know. Where am I going to get that? Where am I going to understand that? I can certainly challenge myself. I can change the way I think. But where do I go from there? And it's a question that all of us need to ask ourselves. We need to think about, how do I grow my business and what help can I get?